Today, we are talking about the universal remotes from Sofabaton, specifically the X2 and the X1S. Thank you to Sofabaton for sending me these remotes so that I could review them and compare them and then share with you the differences between these remotes so that you can know which remote will work best for you in your situation. Now let's talk about the X1S, specifically the differences and the similarities between it and the X2. Now, first of all, the very first thing that you're going to notice is that the covering, the casing, the build of the remote itself is all plastic. Now that you compare that to the X2, which is metal and is significantly heavier. Now, I do really like the build quality of the X2. It feels really solid in your hand. You know, when you pick it up, it's like, oh wow, this is a substantial remote. But that's kind of a double-edged sword because yes, it is really solid and it feels really sturdy. But when you pick it up in the middle of a movie, say to pause your movie or whatever, you pick it up, it's like, oh wow, yeah, okay, this is a thing, you know. Whereas with the X1S, it's more like a typical remote where it's really light and it's kind of feathery in your hand, and you just kind of pick it up and away you go. So really, it just comes down to your personal preference, which one you like better. Honestly, for me, I like both of them for different reasons. So just know that there are those differences, that the X2 is just a lot heavier, more solid, it's metal, and the X1S is just all plastic and it's light. So the very first thing you should know about these remotes is the difference in price. On this channel, anytime I talk about products, it's always how does it perform relative to its price point. So yes, the X2 does have more features. It is a more solid remote, but it also costs more. So what are the costs? The X2 is currently on sale for $330, and the X1S is currently on sale for $180. So there is a $150 price difference between the two. The other thing I need to mention is that the functionality of the remotes is identical. Both remotes have all of the same features, all of the ability to connect to different devices. That's all done on the back end through the app, and that is the same across both of the devices. So they're both able to connect over Bluetooth, infrared, etc. They're able to connect to all the same devices. There are no limitations in that way with the X1S. It is on par with the X2 in that regard. So now let's get into some of the differences. The first thing you notice is that the X2 has a touch screen that lights up, and it's really nice and it's really handy to be able to navigate by, just like on your phone. You swipe, you scroll, etc. Whereas with the X1S, it does have a screen, but it is not a touch screen. It has a scroll wheel here in the middle where you can scroll between the different options, and then you press the wheel to select the option. Another difference is that with the X2, there is a back button and it's part of the touch screen. You can't really see it, but it's just part of the screen. It's a back button right there. Whereas with the X1S, it has a physical button that you actually press right up there at the top. And that will take you back to the main menu where you can then select between activities, devices, settings, etc. The other way in which these remotes are the same is that they both have really nice backlit buttons. So when you lift them up, they are a lift to wake. So when the remote goes to sleep and it's just sitting there, as soon as you pick it up and lift it up, it lights up. And that includes both the screens and the buttons. And they are really visible, which is really handy, especially in a dark theater. If you have a fully blacked out theater or a dark room, you lift up your remote, all the buttons are all lit up, easy to see, which is really, really nice. Now, something interesting about the lift to wake. Previously with the X2, you had to wake it up before it would respond to button presses. So if your remote was just laying there and say you wanted to adjust the volume on your receiver, you hit the volume button, but it wasn't woken up, it wouldn't send the signal to your receiver. That has been updated in a recent firmware update. So now the X2, you don't have to wake it up for it to respond to button presses. You can just press the button and it will immediately send the signal. The X1S has not yet received that feature. It still has to be woken up in order for the button presses to have any effect. Now, I assume because they were able to add that feature to the X2 via a firmware update, I assume that will be the case with the X1S, where it will be able to have that feature where you can have it respond to button presses even if it's not woken up. There is another feature that has been added to the X2 via a firmware update that has not yet landed with the X1S. I will get to that in just a moment. The X1S does not include a charging dock, whereas the X2 does. Now, I keep my X2 stored on the charging dock all the time. Anytime I'm not using the remote, I just set it on the charging dock. So my battery is always charged. Now, in the case of the X1S, you do have to connect it with a USB-C cable to a charging brick so that you can charge it. Now, it does come with a USB charging brick, but that is used to connect the hub. But you can unplug it from the hub and plug it into your remote for charging, or you could just use, any old charging brick with a USB-C cable and it'll charge up just fine. Now, Sofabaton claims that the X1S has a 45-day battery lifespan. I haven't been using it for 45 days, so I can't confirm that. However, I will say that through all of my testing, I have made barely even a dent in the battery life on this, and I've not had to plug it into a charger even once. So I think the battery on the X1S is pretty solid. Now, one of the things missing from the X1S that the X2 does have is an IR on the remote itself. So in the case of the X2, there are IR lights on the front of it. And so when you set up a device and you set up a specific button, you can specify which IR light is going to be sending that signal, whether it's from the hub or from a repeater or from the remote itself. In the case of the X1S, there are no IR lights on the remote, so all of the IR signals have to come from the hub. Now, on that note, there is no option to add a repeater to the X1S. In my theater, I have to use a repeater at my projector because all of my equipment is in my closet. And so the hub is in my closet and it talks to all of my devices that are in the closet. But the projector itself is out here in the room. So I have to use an IR repeater that talks to the hub wirelessly and then broadcasts an IR signal to my projector. But if your situation has all of your equipment in one location or one cabinet and the hub can go in that location, then you're absolutely good to go with the X1S. In addition, the X1S does include 2 IR repeaters that plug into the back of the hub, and they are connected via wire. And so you can run them around to your equipment, set them up in those hard to reach places. If you have some equipment kind of off to the side, you can use those IR blasters to get the signal over there. So as long as all of your equipment is in one place, then the X1S will work just fine for you. Just know that the X1S does not have the option to communicate directly from the remote to a device. You can't point the remote at a device and have it talk to it. So I was able to set up the X1S here in my theater. Like I say, I couldn't get it to talk to my projector because my projector is out here in the room, but everything else I was able to get it to connect to. So I was able to program it to talk to my Trinov processor, to my Apple TV, to my Zadoo, to my Kaleidoscape, all of it. And it all works perfectly because the interface is exactly like the X2. You set up activities in the app and then the remote syncs with the hub and updates to it. One of the kind of interesting things that I noticed with the X1S is after I got it to connect over Bluetooth to my Apple TV, I noticed that there was just this slightest little bit of lag when using the back button on the X1S. It wasn't there when scrolling. So when you would move, around between the different apps or, different options within an app, there was zero lag with that. But when you hit the back button, there was just the slightest tiny little bit of lag. It basically made no difference. The only reason why I noticed it is because in my testing, I was just trying to fixate on even just the smallest, littlest things. And that was one thing that I noticed is that there was just a slight tiny little lag when hitting the back button. But honestly, if I hadn't really been paying attention, I probably wouldn't have even been able to notice it. So which remote is right for you? As I mentioned, the IR signal is limited to just the hub in the case of the X1S. So the hub and the IR blasters that you can connect to it, those are the only IR signals that can be sent to your devices. Whereas with the X2, you have the option to add a repeater or extender. You also have the option of broadcasting the IR signal from the remote itself. So take into consideration your room and your situation. If all of your equipment is in one place, then the X1S is definitely an option for you. If your equipment is spread across different rooms, then you're going to need to step up to the X2 because you're going to need the repeater and or the signal from the remote itself. At the end of the day, both of these remotes are fantastic. I have been using the X2 for a few months now, and I gotta say, I absolutely love it. I love being able to control all of my devices from a single remote. I'm even able to control my lights. Now, I did have to connect up the X2 to a Home Assistant server that's running on a Raspberry Pi here in my theater room, and that is how I'm able to communicate with my lights. But once I got that set up, it's absolutely seamless. I love being able to turn my lights off and on from the main listening position here in my theater. It's super convenient. So at the end of the day, these remotes really are about convenience, being able to control all of your devices. Home theaters are complicated. We have a lot of equipment and it all has to talk to each other and we have to talk to it. And having one device that can communicate with every single device is fantastic. And I love the activities feature. The activities feature is where with just one press of a button or one swipe of your finger, it kicks off a sequence that powers up all of the devices that you're going to need to do a certain activity. So say you want to watch your Apple TV. You hit the Watch Apple TV activity. It turns on your Apple TV. It turns on your projector or TV. It turns on your processor. It sets the processor to the correct input. All of that. And then you're just good to go. And you're able to control all of it from a single remote. I mentioned previously that there was a feature that had been added to the X2, but it wasn't yet available on the X1S. This is the feature. When you start an activity and it turns on all of the devices that you need to do that activity, and then you want to switch to a different activity. For example, in my theater, I may start off watching my Apple TV, but then after a while, I'm like, okay, I'm done with my Apple TV. Now I want to watch something on my Zadoo. Well, I swipe on the Watch Zadoo activity, and what it does is it changes the input on the turn-off processor to the input that the Zadoo is connected to. It also powers on the Zadoo, but now it also powers off the Apple TV. It didn't previously do that. Before, it would leave the Apple TV on, and then it would power on the Zadoo and switch the input on the turn-off. But now it switches the input on the turn-off, powers on the Zadoo, and turns off the Apple TV, which is really cool. By switching activities, it recognizes, okay, you were using the Apple TV, now you're no longer using it, let's turn that off. That is a new feature, and that has not yet landed with the X1S. Now, again, I assume they will be able to add that in a firmware update, but as of right now, it does not do that. So instead, when you switch from one activity to another, it just leaves the previous device on. It doesn't turn it off, which is not a huge deal, but having it turn it off, that is pretty handy. So at the end of the day, both of these remotes are absolutely fantastic. Whichever one fits your specific situation, you will definitely be happy with it. They work great. They do have some little quirks. Sometimes I'll kick off an activity and it'll turn everything on, but it'll miss turning on the Apple TV. So then I just hit the OK button and on the remote and it powers it on, so it's not a big deal. And that's pretty rare, but occasionally, yeah, a little quirk like that. But other than that, these things work fantastic, and they are continuing to release firmware updates to fix bugs and add new features, which is also really nice. So if you have any questions about these remotes, specifically which one might work for you in your situation, hit me up in the comments. I will link to both in the description and down in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching.